Guys, check this out. Only $20. And we get to not only meet a ton of the biggest tech execs, we also get a great gourmet banquet dinner out of it. We've got to go. Being 18 and a freshman at UPenn, there's absolutely no way that I was going to pass up a chance to bump shoulders with some of the most important tech execs, and more importantly, get a cheap dinner on a Friday night too. And so, I went out and got a brand new suit, pressed like great, perfect to fit in, with a blue tie, and showed up with my friends to this networking event. But as we walked in, something seemed to be wrong. For whatever reason, despite the event hosting over 200 people, students and execs alike, we were the only guys in the room. And slowly but surely, kind of dawned on us that the SWE in SWE networking event did not in fact stand for software engineer, but Society of Women Engineers. Separated from my friends and left to fend for myself in an unfamiliar world, I was seated at this group table where everybody was standing up and sharing their story, their passion as to why they had attended this event, whether it be battling discrimination in the workplace or just wanting to prove that women can be just as good, if not better, than men at coding. Of course, eventually it became my turn to share why I had actually gone to this event. And so I stood up, cleared my throat, and said the only thing that came to mind. I'm here because, well, I love all women. Flash forward 5 years, and I found myself competing in this crazy reality TV show competition with one of the same friends who accompanied me to that SWE event, who clearly hadn't learned his lesson about going along with whatever wild idea I had next. The cameras were rolling, the oversized neon clock in the center of the room was ticking down, and what felt like the hardest engineering problem of my life was sitting before me in pieces on the table. It was hour 7 of a 10-hour televised reality TV game show challenge, where my teammate and I had persevered week after week, fighting to make our way to the semifinals, and this was it. One wrong move, and our hopes and dreams of making it to the finale, of taking home the prize, of being cemented into the annals of history as official LEGO Masters would be over. This week's challenge, to create a massive, working LEGO roller coaster. And in typical Christopher and Robert fashion, we decided to go bigger, bolder, and more ambitious than ever before. Instead of using the pre-made LEGO track techniques that were right there waiting for us to use them, we decided to attempt something that had quite literally never been attempted physically before, creating a massive, working, motorized spiral lift mechanism arcing up into the clouds, culminating in a sheer vertical drop and a U-shaped loop. It was ambitious, and the crux of this entire build was getting the spiral lift to work, which you probably could guess wasn't quite working. As I said, it was hour 7. What started as something I wanted to only spend 2 of our valuable 10 hours on had quickly ballooned up to nearly 4 times the original estimate. And no matter what I did, I couldn't get it to work. The motor kept ripping the pieces apart. The coaster kept literally going off the rails. The friction on the tracks was too great. And with each and every failed attempt, frustration, stress, and fear was building in my heart. For nearly 2 months, my teammate and I had persevered to get this far, and the success of our build was hinging on this one mechanism working. It all came down to this. But so when Judge Jamie came over, the man who literally designed the roller coaster track pieces for LEGO, saw what we were trying to build, I had no choice but to explain our overly ambitious plan. Okay, Jamie, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to create a massive spiral lift mechanism to bring our coaster up into the clouds. Look, Chris, that's a really ambitious idea, and we love seeing ambition from our teams. But I have to say that as the man who designs all the roller coaster sets for Lego, I still think it's possible. That single statement set me spiraling. My hopes and dreams for what our build could be, for making it to the finale, plummeting to the ground. Because no matter what I did, nothing was working. And with each and every time, I tried and tried and tried and failed over and over and over again. I was ready to give up at that point, to scrap what I had spent now 8 of our 10 hours building. But then my teammate Robert brought up a very sobering realization. Dude, what do you mean you're going to quit? We literally promised the judges we were going to do this. If you don't get this working, it is over. We're done. And as much as I hated to admit it, Robert was right. We had promised the moon to the judges, and failing to deliver now would surely mean that we would be sent home. And so, as my mind was filled with a million thoughts, my hands were sweaty, my heartbeat was felt in my chest, the blood was rushing to my ears, I was feeling overwhelmed, my senses were overloaded. All of a sudden, I knew just what I had to do. Setting down what I was working on, I sat down on the floor, cleared my head, and just started to play. Whistling my favorite tune, I picked up a minifigure and zenned out. I felt my breath flow in and out and in again. Before I knew it, the head and wings and body of a majestic dragon was coming together in my hands, hands that were now steady and calm. I felt a sense of peace wash over me, and I truly felt what it was like to just be a child again and be reminded of the fact why I was even on the show in the first place, because I love Lego, I love playing, and I love building. With my mind at peace, after just 10 minutes of playing, I returned to my task and not only made the motorized spiral lift work flawlessly, but eventually went on to win the entire competition itself. It was that I really realized that when we embrace our childlike mindset, we can gain the power to creatively tackle any problem we try to solve. You see, play, especially creative and constructive play as an adult, is a powerful thing. Lego themselves conducted a big study on this. After interviewing over 30,000 adults, they found that, big shocker here, 93% of us feel very stressed on a day-to-day basis, which I'm sure is a big surprise to everyone. 80% of us are actively looking for new ways to de-stress. I guess the other 13% have just succumbed to their fate at this point. But digging even deeper into that, they found that, and I swear this isn't propaganda, but 86% of adults say that play creatively and embrace a childlike mindset to build something that's constructive with your hands is one of the best ways to calm down and relax after a long day's work. It doesn't even need to be with Lego. As long as you're doing something that takes on the mindset that you had as a kid, creativity will flow. As a child, our eyes were open, the world was full of possibilities, and our heads were filled with the 3 most beautiful words in the English language. I don't know. Channel that mindset, channel that energy, and the doors of creativity will be opened. Even if you take just 30 minutes out of your day to sit down, build a Lego set, or play with loose bricks, it's the best way to reframe the problem you're trying to solve in a different lens. And no matter the problem, no matter how big or small, if you are tackling it by stepping back, sitting down, breathing, and embracing a childlike mindset, you'll be able to solve anything you put your mind to. The simple act of picking up a Lego brick and building something creatively with your hands is incredibly free. So I encourage you to go out there and build a Lego set, or heck, even play with your kids' toys. Because taking on that mindset as an adult is the key to unlocking play as your creative fuel and your superpower. So here's what I'll say. I think that when we embrace our childlike mindset, we gain the power to creatively tackle any problem. So the next time you are facing a seemingly insurmountable task or obstacle, I encourage you to grab a Lego set and just play. We all have the power to view our lives through a more freer, looser, and creative mindset. So to quote my favorite Lego TV show, the future is what we make it.